the perfect lunch combo. That first bite of your favorite sub, followed by ice-cold Pepsi. Add a couple of friends, and now that's next level. Suddenly, the laughs get louder, the stories keep flowing, and the food tastes better. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
Amazon Health AI presents Painful Thoughts.
I can't stop scratching my downtown. Yeah, but I'm not itching to go downtown and tell a receptionist I'm here to talk about my downtown. Some things you'd rather type than say out loud.
There's no question too embarrassing for Amazon Health AI. Chat your symptoms and get virtual care 24/7. Healthcare just got less painful.
Hello and welcome to Allegedly Astrology. Each week we break down the astrology that happened during some of the biggest scandals and events in history. And today it is me, Sarah, and Dana together again because Elise is on maternity leave.
Well, thanks so much to everyone for listening to our show. If you want to support us, you can leave us a 5-star review and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yes, subscribe, like, share, and if you do leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and DM us a screenshot of it, we'll make you a custom meme of your big three and send you a quick write-up about it.
We also have a very cool and exclusive Patreon with tons of content. So if you want even more astrology content from us, join us at patreon.com/allegedlyastrology. And you don't even need to go into your browser and write that down because it's linked in the show notes, actually.
Yes. And right now is a great time to join because we are technically on summer break, which means that you pay $5 to sign up, but then for all of August and until we're back in September, you are getting a free month because
at least one free month.
You're getting at least one free month. We're not posting new content, but since you're a newbie to it, you are getting access to like probably 200 episodes or something for the price of one.
Yeah, we share personal information there too if you want to ruin our lives or just are you obsessed with us.
Pay $5 to ruin our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And you could also follow us and not ruin our lives. We're Allegedly Astrology on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. And you could visit our website, allegedlyastrology.com, to learn more about us and the show.
And if you'd like to book a reading with me, you can email me at astrologyreadingsbydana@gmail.com. That email is also in the show notes.
I'm about to get some new eclipses and new signs.
Oh my God,
Leo
such a good time
Aquarius.
to get readings, truly, is eclipse season. Okay, yeah, Let me know. Hit me up.
The time is now. So Dana, what are we talking about today?
Margaret Qualley and Jack Antonoff and their divorce.
Yes. So Margaret Qualley and Jack Antonoff have officially, sadly, announced their separation after 3 years of marriage. And though the couple always kept things pretty on the DL, rumors went crazy after Jack attended Taylor Swift's wedding without Margaret. And Margaret was seen in upstate New York, which is the official sign of something not being right. It didn't help that Margaret also deleted all of her and Jack's wedding photos off her Instagram, which it's rough. So let's learn about them and their astrology. But before we get into it, Dana, what do you know about Jack and Margaret?
Okay, so I know a good deal about their astrology, but not much else. Everything else is sort of informed by my opinions, which are pretty baseless. And those opinions are that Jack produced one of my favorite albums, Norman fucking Rockwell by Lana Del Rey. I mean, at least I think he produced it. Okay.
Yes. Confirmed.
And even though I have a compulsion to like bully him, I really am grateful for that. He's an extremely talented producer, and I like that. Also, he made the song "We Are Fun." Anyway, I know that they have an age gap, which is kind of cool and really also reflected in their astrology a little bit. And I know that Margaret Qualley is a cool nepo baby. And what I also know is that the rumors are that she like, what did she say? The wool has been pulling like from over her eyes, or she can like, she was blind and now she can see.
Oh,
something
damn.
like that. I know, it was something cool and dramatic. Spoiler alert, she's a Scorpio, so.
Oh, Honestly, I could see that because she is, well, I'll hold my thoughts until we look at her chart. But I love her in The Substance. The Substance is probably one of my favorite movies.
I still have yet to see it, but yeah, I
So
heard
good.
that was such an excellent movie.
It's on HBO Max right now, but it's body horror. So I feel now I'm desensitized to it, but I feel like at the beginning there's like some like spinal stuff that might gross people out.
Okay, well, I'll give it a whirl.
So let's get into learning a bit more about Margaret. So Margaret is an actor and producer. She's the daughter of actress Andie MacDowell, who, if you are not familiar, she was in a ton of 90s films like Michael, which starred her and John Travolta. She was like his, when he was like the angel. Yeah.
Excellent.
And then also Groundhog Day, which is iconic. And Margaret's dad is former model Paul Qualley. So haughty. Yeah, and she was trained as she was trained as a ballerina, and then she modeled and then started acting. And before she was in, the aforementioned Substance, she was in a bunch of series. She was in HBO's The Leftovers. She was in Netflix's The Maid. She was in that iconic Kenzo ad where she's like dancing around like weirdly. You know which one I'm talking about?
No, I don't think I do, but I can imagine the like lithe hipster dance of like a, just like a, I'm imagining the dance and I'm right. I know it.
She's like in this like fancy like hotel and she's wearing a dress and she's just like dancing like weirdly alone to the camera.
Like fluidly?
Yeah, like
wavy.
If you watched it, you would be like, "Oh yeah, you are a trained ballerina."
You're hipster.
Like, yeah, it's almost like I don't know how to describe, like modern, like super, like a modern.
Oh, okay,
dance.
okay. So, like, have you seen Suspiria?
No, because I'm afraid of it.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I'm assuming yes, it's probably like because it's a ballet, right? Aren't they dancing ballet?
Yeah, and they do like some cool movements only ballerinas could do.
Yeah. So imagine that's what she did. She also was in films like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Poor Things, Sanctuary, Kinds of Kindness, which I really want to see, The Substance, Honey Don't, and How to Make a Killing. I think How to Make a Killing was like her latest one.
Yeah, I watched that one. I liked it. I think I liked her in it. It was a fine movie.
Mostly any A24 film, you can't really go wrong.
Oh, I didn't know. I should know. I didn't know that. That makes sense. It's very A24 movie. Okay.
So, what's her chart like?
Okay, Margaret was born on October 23rd, 1994 at 4:50 p.m. in Missoula, Montana. And she has a Scorpio sun, a Gemini moon, and a Pisces rising. And I think that's excellent. Scary, but excellent. She's also, like, they're remaking the movie Possession. Have you seen that? I love that movie. I
saw that she's filming it. Yeah.
And that's just such a good big three, I think, for Possession, even though she's getting people have been making fun of her outfits on Twitter. But yeah, no, her chart is truly like a Lana Del Rey album, ironically enough. Like she would die for love. She's super romantic. She's smart, creative, good at shape-shifting, acting, lying, right? These are all sort of, there's a triangle here of these things. Enigmatic, magnetic, intelligent, also very suspicious. And she was also born during eclipse season, 10 days before a solar eclipse at 10 degrees Scorpio. So just gives extreme circumstances. And an eclipse in Scorpio is going to be super deep and also a little scary. So her Scorpio sun, it's deep, brooding, bubbly, intense, really great for ballet. Her son's in her 9th house, which is the house of the son's joy. So this is giving Nepo baby. Also like having an iconic father. Her son is ruled by her Mars in Leo, which is in her 6th house, which is Mars' house of joy. So these are both in their house of joy. And the sun in Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Leo. So they're in mutual reception. So it's a simpatico relationship, the planet of motivation, the sign of the star. It's the house of work, Mars and Leo. And so, yeah, Mars in Leo in the 6th house. It's the planet of motivation. It's the sign of the star. It's the house of work. It's where Mars thrives the most. And we love that for her. It's really good for being an actor because she's, ready to put on a show every day. She also has like a super Scorpio stellium. She has Venus retrograde conjunct Jupiter and the North Node in Scorpio. She also has Pluto in Scorpio. But this first like triple conjunction of Venus, Jupiter, and the North Node is tough at times. I mean, Venus retrograde is tough. It's not the easiest like hand you can be dealt, but it's like this is such a great source of power. It's also such a good like an perfect ballerina sort of stellium because it's so painful. Like their feet are bloody. They have to bind their toes or whatever. There's like the sacrifice of eating and time and I don't know like. So many sacrifices that have to be made for ballerinas. And also just like tiptoeing around. It's like, it's not loud. It's very Scorpio. Like, it's just, I don't know. I never thought about it before, but it's so perfect for Venus and Scorpio. And Venus and also Venus retrograde, I mean, probably gives a little more like an obsessive quality to really hone in on something. Venus and Jupiter is great whenever you are scrolling like TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever, and there's an awesome astrologer who claims it's the best day of the year, blanketly. That's like every Venus-Jupiter conjunction. And it's a feel-good day for sure. These are the two benefic planets, and when they're together, they enhance pleasure. They enhance popularity. Also, though, the ability to indulge. But in Scorpio, it's like the indulge and restrict. And then Venus retrograde conjunct the North Node. This is intense and also important because Venus retrogrades in Scorpio this fall from October 3rd to November 13th. So it will be retrograde in her solar return. And this is called the recurrence transit when a transit or when an aspect that's in your chart, an aspect or like a retrograde, mostly I would say Mars and Venus or Mercury too, but Mars and Venus, them being such rare retrogrades when they're repeating, it's like people who have those natal retrogrades will tend to have really impactful periods and also especially if it's in the same sign. So this is like a huge cycle coming up for her. And of course, Venus is the planet of love. So, she's resetting her love life. That Gemini moon intellectualizes emotions. It like literally needs to feel stimulated in a way that satisfies her curiosity and like interest. She needs to be like, her interest needs to be held. Her moon is also in her fourth house. It's conjunct her IC. The IC is the family of origin. So this is like having a great emotional tie to the family, but it's also the IC is also endings and hidden things, and the moon is a planet of change. So this could be moving houses a lot. It could be endings like truly affecting homeostasis, right? So just being so thrown off. Also with it being in Gemini, it could be like two endings at once. And it's ruled by her Mercury, which is also retrograde in Libra in her eighth house. So this is it's an air trine. Libra and Gemini, they trine each other. It's lovely for Mercury to be in air signs. Mercury and Libra, my friend who's the best communicator I know has Mercury in Libra, and like it's just an excellent placement for communication because it like learns how to accommodate everyone's needs. The difficulty, especially with being retrograde, is that it may not learn how to communicate or accommodate her own needs because she's so balanced in that way. And then, her Mercury is also stationary because it's stationed direct 6 days after she was born. So like a retrograde happening within a week of birth is strong. And with it being in the eighth house, she needs to be allowed to express herself because people can like maybe try to control her expression or twist her words to accommodate them. And then she's a Pisces rising. So she's an actor. She's so romantic. She needs some sleep. She's ruled by Jupiter, which is in Scorpio, again, conjunct Venus, which is retrograde. It's also conjunct the North Node. And Venus and Jupiter make her popular. Scorpio and the North Node make her controversial. Her Saturn's also in Pisces in her first house, and it's retrograde. She's hard on herself. Saturn in the first house is always hard on themselves. Saturn just transited Pisces from 2023 to the beginning of 2026. So this is like the Saturn return. We know about this. And so it's affecting her relationships because anything happening on the first and seventh house axis is going to be about self and relationships. And so obviously it's affecting her marriage, and people might have been extra tough on her during Saturn transiting her natal first house. Also, okay, so her natal Venus retrograde in Scorpio stationed direct 30 days after she was born. She's 31 right now. So this means that it's stationed recently in her progress chart. So it's about time to be getting divorced. And 25 days after she was born, there was a lunar eclipse in Taurus. And so this is relevant because she was 26 when she met Jack. So she was in her progressed like eclipse phase during that, which is also rare. So yeah, she's coming up on a really big year and she has a really cool chart and I like her.
Nice. So then we have Jack. So Jack is an American singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and music producer. He does sing lead vocals for the rock band Bleachers. And previously he was the guitarist and drummer for the band Fun. And he has produced and co-written songs with other music artists such as Taylor Swift, Lana Del Rey, St. Vincent, Pink, Florence and the Machine, Kendrick Lamar, Sabrina Carpenter, and Doja Cat. He has won 13 Grammys, and he also won Producer of the Year 3 consecutive times from 2022 to 2024. And he has been credited by critics with having influenced the popular musical trends of the 2010s and 2020s. So kind of a big deal. And he also dated Lena Dunham. So what does his chart look like?
Jack was born on March 31st, 1984 at 5:55 a.m. in Bergenfield, New Jersey. And he has a Sun and Aries rising and a Pisces moon. So the Sun in Aries is driven. It's the sign of exaltation for the Sun. It's competitive. It's ruled by Mars and Scorpio in the 8th house. So Mars and Scorpio is domicile. Yeah. And this means that he's scarier than he looks. Mars stationed retrograde just 5 days after he was born. So this also makes it really intense. Like a Mars stationing and in the sign of its domicile in the 8th house is just, honestly, a force to be reckoned with. His Aries rising is ambitious with his Sun exalted there in the 1st house. It's a celebrity. He's popular. He wants to shine. Also could be a little self-centered. His Mercury is also in his 1st house, and this is Mercury's house of joy. So this enables him to make sense of the world around him and communicate with it, amend it, move as he goes. His chart ruler, again, is Mars in Scorpio. It's in his 8th house. So with it being in Scorpio and in his 8th house, it's like a very interesting relationship with control. Also being Mars retrograde or, about to station retrograde, he's good at control, but also it could be like, the relationship could be tenuous at times. He has a malefic conjunction, a sign conjunction with his chart ruler, Mars. So Mars and Saturn are conjunct in Scorpio. He also has Pluto in the mix. This indicates some power struggles, but Mars is domicile. In the 8th house, this is about sharing, producing music for others, right? Like the malefics are extreme, so they make changes. So this probably is a difficult early life or a lot of difficulties in relationships maybe early on, but it's also such a good, it really captures the beautiful pop that he makes because it's so synthy, but then the lyrics, especially for Lana, are insane, raw, deep, emo, that song. I don't know, all of Norman fucking Rockwell and then a lot of other songs. And then he has this Pisces moon in the 12th house. So he's a sad boy. Oh. Maybe he's addicted to being the victim. Oh, wait, go.
Oh, I was going to say just a little refresher for those that don't know or are new to astrology. Your chart ruler is the most important planet in your chart. It's what is based on your rising sign. So it's the ruler of your rising sign. And all the planets have to answer to it in your chart. So it's running the show. So Jack has Mars and Scorpio in the 8th, which is honestly scary.
Isn't it? That's scarier than he looks.
Yeah, because he looks like a little nerd, like a malnourished nerd.
Yeah. He totally I just saw there's a meme where she's sitting on his lap and she looks gorgeous. They're at a table in a tropical location, and he's just wearing a t-shirt, and it's not the most flattering photo of him. And someone the meme is that he looks like a Make-A-Wish kid because he looks like a child. He looks unwell, and she's stunning.
Well, also I think too, a lot of, I feel I guess Mars is, Aries is my 7th house and my Mars is there. But I personally feel that men that have Aries rising or Scorpio rising kind of just have Riz, like just existing, at least to me. But that's just because like Aries is my 7th house and my Mars is there. But I'm like, they just have something. And I feel like for him, I mean,
they pursue what they want. So a huge issue today is like pursuit, honestly, of women. So, and like, yeah, I think that's what I personally find hot about a Mars sign in the rising.
But I bet too, like, just trying to like fanfic it. I mean, when he's like, his Mars is in Scorpio in the 8th house, so that is kind of hot / scary. But I mean, for his job, it makes a lot of sense. Like you were saying, like he's like making things with others. He's like making money off of like, well, not off of other people, but it's like he's getting money from like working with others. It's a lot of collaboration. It's a lot of things you're doing in the shadows because you're making music
in the shadows of Scorpio.
Yeah,
and
so it's
house,
like
you're
making stuff before anyone knows that it exists. You know, like he's like in the studio with them. It's like things that are probably like under contract that you like don't really share. Like you just share it between you. So it is, and also making music is like an intimate thing because you're like talking about your feelings and like bearing your soul.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know the process, but like I mean, he's produced so much for Taylor Swift and she makes like famously like makes breakup albums. So it's like having to be like, this is how I felt at this moment, or I don't know.
Well, also something that's interesting too about them working together is they came up with something that they call like the rage bridge. And it's like, cause not a lot of people do bridges anymore, but she like, they together like love having a bridge that's kind of like unhinged or requires her to yell. So like in Cruel Summer, the rage bridge is, I'm drunk in the back of the car and I'm crying like a baby coming back from the bar. What does she say? She's like, something, it wasn't true. And then she screams like, I don't want to keep secrets if I can't have you or whatever. Secrets. Yeah.
That makes, and also her, I think, I mean, according to according to the chart we use, her midheaven is Scorpio. So that also means like skyrocketing together. Also with like Saturn and Mars there, especially Saturn in this mix, like it's like you said, he's making money. I mean, he's earning money off of people, but like the royalties, that's sort of like, you know, Saturn, it's like it keeps coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. He also has his Pisces moon in the 12th house. So yeah, he's a sad boy. He maybe can really be so good at playing the victim, or maybe, I mean, it's the moon in the 29th degree, the last degree of the zodiac. This is good for emotional expression. It's also good for sort of the transition from like, I mean, it's just the transition from like death to life, or from like the end to the beginning. And his moon's ruled by Jupiter in Capricorn on the midheaven. So, I mean, damn. Jupiter in Capricorn is a sign of the fall. So maybe he just feels like he really has to work so hard. And I'm sure, I mean, this makes someone a hustler, right? They might feel or receive the message, or, you know, if he's not working hard, his emotions are bad, or he's bad or something. Maybe that he also like, I bet I wouldn't be surprised. His moon is with Venus in the 12th house. So, I mean, Venus in the 12th house in Pisces, it could be secret romance. It could be getting blindsided by affairs. Some people have like cheat. Could also be like getting left behind a lot. So maybe he feels really left behind. But with Jupiter on the midheaven, again, he's able to like alchemize and work with like any distress and like these like deep dark thoughts that are most people's like blind spot, which is the 12th house. So yeah, I mean, his moon conjunct Venus, which is exalted in Pisces, in his 12th house. He's romantic, he's artistic. He's sort of like I don't know, like a psychopomp. Like, I mean, he like I don't know, I'm like chariots other people. I don't know. He's a handler of sorts. He's also born 44 days before a lunar eclipse in Gemini. And so this will happen in his progress chart in 2028. So that could be cool for music. It could also be already sort of reflecting in his life. And then Neptune stationed retrograde 2 days after he was born in Capricorn in his 10th house. Neptune is so synthy. Neptune is synths. It's creativity. I think
Love
that's
synth.
yeah, I think that's pretty spot on.
I think that with the 12th house too, I feel like the 12th house to me is also things that you just kind of know or feel or do innately. So like for Pisces, like being a musician, being an artist is probably something that comes like it's just natural to him. Like it's probably like natural to him on a subconscious level, which I think makes him so good at what he does. And especially like having Jupiter and Capricorn ruling that, it's almost like being able to like take this thing that you just kind of is like a gift in your subconscious and be able to like make it into money.
I like
and
that.
like work like really hard at like creating that.
Yeah. That's perfect. And it's perfect too because with like everything you just said, his Jupiter, the ruling planet of the 12th house, stationed retrograde 29 days after he was born. So that means it's applying to his like midheaven. It's really in his progress chart. So age 29 was around the time fun got big. Remember tonight we are young.
I was just gonna look and see like what happened to him at age 29.
His Saturn return. Saturn entered Scorpio in 2012, and that's when I remember that song being really big. So he maybe age 29. I don't know what happened to him, but like that would have been around 28. Anyway, his Saturn return was him blowing up, and Saturn rules his midheaven. His Jupiter, it's pretty like everything finally pays off.
I also feel like that fun song was like
I hate that I like
literally,
it.
Well, it was like it always was playing. It always was playing like during the height of like all of our friends' mania, and it would be like every radio station was playing it. You'd be like, I don't even know if there were Ubers yet, but like we'd be in like a cab and it would just be blasting like at 3 a.m. like fun.
To
and then you're
McGuire's.
Like, yeah, I guess I have to close this late night bar because fun says we're young.
And I'm having fun. Oh, that's so funny. That's so dead on. Yeah.
It's on Jack's chart before we move on.
No, he's doing what he's meant to do. That's it.
Okay. Love that. So, before they were together, now we're going to look at Margaret and Jack together. But before we do that, we have to talk a little bit about their previous romantic history. So before Margaret and Jack got together, Jack very famously dated Lena Dunham from 2012 to 2018. And they were very much the indie darlings at the time. Like he's like a cool like band guy producer. And she was like, honestly, like the voice of our generation, whether or not people want to believe that or admit that or not. But
absolutely,
Margaret honestly had a great roster like on her. She was dating Pete Davidson, and then she also dated Shia LaBeouf, which I always forget about.
God,
Margaret,
this is Venus retrograde in Scorpio, friends. Like Shia and Pete Davidson, who I love, but
I know, but
so
like,
she and Kim Kardashian are Eskimo sisters,
to be honest. Oh, that is crazy. Wild. So Jack and I guess they all kind of look similar. Like Pete and Shia and Jack, they're all like dark-haired, dark-eyed men.
Yeah. And that's what sort of Scorpio is. Like Scorpio's the like really, it's like an attractive person, dark hair, raven-haired beauty, I would,
Yeah. And I guess maybe like, as you said, Jack's, Pisces 12th house with his moon there, sad boy. So yeah, maybe there is some like troubled soul with him, but I feel like Pete and Shia are, little troubled men. Now I think Pete's doing better. It seems like his eyes look
I heard
amazing.
that he's not doing
I don't know what
he just his baby mama has been on saying that he left them after a few months and like is really not at all involved, and she's doing everything and it's so hard. And she's some gorgeous model I've never heard of, but she's so yeah, it seems like he's but I mean it's not huge news, so I don't know how maybe he's doing well and she's not doing well.
Well, I meant like health wise, it looks like he's a lot healthier right now.
Sure, like he doesn't have butthole eyes.
Yeah, like he looks like much more healthy,
attractive for sure. I hope he does right by his baby mama. Also,
I saw I saw a trailer of him. A trailer for one of his movies, an old movie, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It's like a horror movie. And literally, I don't know, I had to check like the color levels on my TV because his eyes, like around his eyes was so dark. I was like, is there something wrong with my TV? And there was not. It was just so him. Funny. Back to Jack and Margaret. So the pair were first linked romantically in 2021 when they were seen kissing around New York. And then they made their first official public appearance together at the 2022 Critics' Choice Awards, which, okay. So what was their synastry like?
Okay, so the first thing I saw when I looked at this chart is that his Saturn is exactly conjunct her Venus retrograde. So broadly speaking, we're going to talk about the umbrella of Scorpio synastry, which they have a lot of. So his Saturn is conjunct her Venus retrograde, her Jupiter, her North Node, like by degrees, and then by sign her Sun and her Pluto. So it's very loud. And Scorpio is so much about this is like all this combination is trust, romance, intensity, depth. It's whether you want it or not. Saturn is lasting romance. So Saturn and Venus is not necessarily dissimilar to Saturn moon synastry, where the Saturn person is really committed, but like perhaps neglectful of the Venus person's needs or emotions or, you know, aesthetic. There's a little bit of like deprivation. His Saturn also squares her Mars in Leo, and which rules her Scorpio stellium. So that's just extra challenging, and it's malefic. Their malefics square each other. And since her Mars is so, I mean, they both have like Mars is a very important planet, but yeah, it's interesting. It's learning experiences. Squares are pivots. So, and in fixed signs, like you really have to be vulnerable and patient and willing to like be told what your blind spot is, like things about yourself that you don't know and are going to be a little awkward to hear, you know, open, which is tough. So yeah, patience is needed, but also like, I just heard "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe" by Kendrick in this, and he's the bitch, and it's her vibe. It could be like him throwing water on fire. It could just be like, you know, because Saturn in Scorpio is water. It's stopping. Mars in Leo is like, you know, a beautiful fireball, and it like just wants to go, and like it's a star. You know, it just loves validation and performing. So it could be, he's like, you know, could be a. What's the word? Buzzkill, a boner killer. And all of this is mitigated and relieved somewhat because his Saturn in Scorpio also trines her ascendant in Pisces. So Saturn is old. The ascendant is herself. He's older than her, and he wants to help her. And she receives help warmly, but he can also be inflexible perhaps at times. Pisces is so willing to do anything for love, except for sometimes when
she said that
until
before.
They're not. Oh, really?
Yeah. She said that like before she met Jack, she just felt like, well, one, she like loves love. She said that before. And then she just said before she met Jack, she was always kind of just trying to like become someone's dream girl, which is very like Pisces.
It's so Venus retrograde too with Jupiter. And also in like the ninth, it's almost like become like an icon, like become someone's like goddess, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, then these are water signs. So it either flows, which is great. Trines are the aspects of flow. So it's easy. But also it could bubble under the surface sometimes. And since the trines seem so easy, it could like, you know, get uncomfortable, but like maybe not be recognized until too late. In other good news, his sun in Aries trines her Mars in Leo. This is awesome. It's easy to collaborate. They can support each other's goals. They are, like passionate. They fuel each other. It's hot. It's horny. And then they have some other, their Venuses trine each other. His Venus in Pisces, her Venus in Scorpio. This is really lovely and ideal. Her Venus applies to his, so she might really open him up. He might feel really like sometimes she's daddy for sure. Just because she's a Scorpio Venus applying to a Pisces Venus. Like this is also like him being really, seduced. Both of them seducing each other. It's nice. It's easy to love. But it's so intense. It's with water. So it's so intense. It's so emotional. And I mean, that's great for art, but it can get like difficult for life, of course. And some other difficult aspects are that their Mercuries are opposite. So this can be challenging, but like conveniently it's the same axis. So of her Mercury's retrograde in Libra, his Mercury is in Aries. So, I mean, this could be her wanting to save the relationship and him being really singular. I can sort of imagine it. Something I've heard a lot of, a common struggle in relationships I've heard is that like, say a woman is like, I need you to do this. And then the guy's like either feels attacked or like says they'll do something, but like, it could just be like, I really need to work on myself right now. And I thought you understood that. And like the Libra person wants to understand the Libra Mercury. So that's that. And then their moons are also squaring each other. So her moon's in Gemini, his moon's in Pisces. She could really be like, let's look at the facts. And he's like feel so abused, feel so triggered. And it wouldn't be uncommon for her to sort of slip away into like the intellectual part of it, whereas he can like just really avoid. And that could be his problem. And then one more aspect there's a lot of going on here, but one more aspect that I'd like to note is that his Uranus squares her ascendant, and it's opposite her moon in Gemini. Uranus is whirlwind romances, and Uranus squaring the ascendant. When this transit happened to me, I was an insane person. I literally afterwards was like so grateful that you and Elise didn't, I don't know, come over and kill me. Like I was just realized like how annoying I was. It really changes you. So he can really, really change her in a way that she might not recognize. And then Uranus opposite the moon can be like an intense fascination. I really like Sagittarius, Gemini, as like an opposition in relationships. It depends on a lot of things, but I think this is like, it's the axis of curiosity. So it's people who want to learn about and from each other, but still her moon is her, emotional center, and Uranus is so chaotic. It could really sort of change her.
So if they came to you with this chart, or if somebody had this chart that you were giving a reading to, what is some like advice you would give them for how to stay in this relationship?
For
or
these
if they
two?
should stay, I guess.
Well, yeah. I would have noted that Saturn transiting Pisces from March 2023 through January 2026 would have been a huge hurdle for them. She has Saturn and her rising in Pisces, and so it's her Saturn return, and then his Venus and moon are there, and a Venus moon conjunction is so lovely and sensitive, and when Saturn comes, it really it really makes it, it's like desolation, especially in his 12th house. So it's like he could feel abandoned. Mostly I think what I would really focus on aside from dynamics is like the transits, because that's really what's going to change the relationship most, that's what you have to like watch out for. I would also really encourage him to be less self-centered, and I would encourage her, I would tell him that they need to work on affirming each other, but like with his Saturn, Mars, Pluto, and Scorpio, and her Venus there, her Venus is retrograde, opening her up is a difficult task. And then Scorpios can also maybe hold people like accountable once you've emotionally affected a Scorpio placement. They hold you accountable for it, which is not necessarily wrong, but not right either. And then he has Aries placements, and now Saturn's in Aries, so that's crazy for him. Yeah, I would really encourage patience and a willingness to change. And I'd say you guys have to keep seeing me if I'm a therapist, because that fixed square could be productive, but man, it would really need a lot of smoothing over. I know some fixed couple relationships in my family who are insane.
Well, I know too, when we put up this synastry chart on the Patreon, people were like commenting on things they noticed. One was just that there's like, from Margaret's side, there's a lot of like Scorpio energy, which just is a lot for, some to handle. And then just how much Aries that Jack has is also very concerning. So, though Margaret and Jack did not talk too much about the relationship in the press, Margaret has said a few things. She wrote in her journal the night she met him that she was going to marry him. And that to me is so Venus and Scorpio. Yeah, just being like, he's mine.
Mercury and Libra, writing it down.
Like, yes, cute. Also manifesting, for sure.
For sure.
She also said, as I kind of like alluded to before, she's always been very love-oriented and has always looked for her person. And then she met Jack, and she said that Jack helped her to feel more confident to explore all the parts of herself. So I feel like that's probably like that fact that, he's older than her, like more Saturnian, like giving that guidance. And then for Jack's part, many fans believe that Lana Del Rey's song Margaret is an ode to Margaret, because Jack worked on that song with Lana. Also, to me, that's like so like Pisces moon 12th house. Like, if you were not talking about like your love for the person openly, you like write a song, like a beautiful song about them.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That's exactly. That's perfect. So yeah, if you know someone, if you're dating Jack Antonoff and wondering if he's in love with you, it's if he writes you a song.
Yes. Which I wonder if he wrote Lena Dunham a song. I'm assuming, yeah. Well, Taylor, yes, that's a lot.
Better
yes.
have.
Taylor Swift wrote a song about Lena Dunham and Jack Antonoff. It's the one where it's like, it's like about being in a car. I can't think of it right now.
I know
it's like you could hear it in the silence. Wait, what is this song? Oh, You're in Love. I think it's called You're in Love. It's like you could hear it in the silence. You could hear it on the way home.
I love it.
Way home. Yeah, I think it's called You're in Love. Hold on, let me check. Also, I have to say, as a Swiftie, I definitely butchered the lyrics earlier to Cruel Summer, but just know that I know I sang it wrong. Yeah, it's called You're in Love, in case anyone was wondering.
I liked your rendition. You were just...
Anyway, so yeah, I got nervous, and I was trying to think about too many parts of the song in the screening.
Fair enough.
But anyway, about a year after being seen for the first time in public, they got engaged, which is pretty fast. And they had a star-studded guest list at their wedding, including Lana Del Rey, Zoe Kravitz, Channing Tatum, Cara Delevingne, and Taylor Swift. So, when we look at couples charts, we have synastry, which is like the vibes between them. But then we have another chart that shows the relationship that is created by those two together. It's like its own entity. So we're going to look at that now.
Okay, so we pulled up the composite, and the Davison composite is the midpoints. It calculates the midpoints between each of their points. So the midpoint between their ascendants, the midpoint between their moons, etc. And their composite chart has a Capricorn sun, a Taurus moon, and a Pisces rising. There's a strong Capricorn stellium in the 11th house, which is, there's goodwill with one another, but there's also, so they have Mercury conjunct Chiron in Cancer in the 5th house of romance. And this is the house where it's the house of creation, pleasures, like indulging yourself. It's like art for art's sake that you make, for yourself. And so Mercury and Chiron here is like so sensitive, so able to have like romantic communication, thrive on that. Also, Cancer is another sign that is closed off until it opens up. It's self-protective. But Mercury can only be opposite the sun in a composite chart. And so they have Mercury opposite the sun, Mercury opposite Venus, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. So I'm not an expert in composite charts like I am in synastry, but that's tough. It's tough to have the planet of communication, which is what, a relationship is really hinging on, opposite all these other personal planets, and not be willing to listen, learn, and go within together. Maybe
something I think is a little interesting though is that, spoiler alert, one of the reasons why that they say they announced that they were separating was because work was getting in the way a lot. And I feel like that is typically a default that celebrities say, but in this chart, I think it could be that because all those planets in Capricorn, that
makes so much sense.
Work is opposite, the cute little Mercury in Cancer, so in their house of love and fun together, it's work is directly competing against
also
little cuteness.
That's exactly it. And I think I have different ideas about work. I don't know that he supported her career as much as she supported his. And I also bet that she was less impressed by his success, or maybe he thought she was because she's, born in the industry, a Nepo baby. But this big three, Capricorn sun, Taurus moon, Pisces rising, really cool for commitment in marriage, right? It's we're together, we're committed. The moon is exalted in Taurus. It's rejoicing in the third house here. So it's very present. But it can get unbalanced. So then also just their Davison chart, just a quick roll of this. It's, the Davison chart is the midpoint of birthdays and the midpoint of coordinates. And so this chart has a Cancer sun, a Scorpio moon, and a Virgo rising. It's for July 12th, 1989. And the most interesting thing about this chart is that there's a Venus-Mars exact conjunction in the 12th house. And it's with the South Node. So it's celebrity or, performing creeps up on them. They have a blind spot. They have a really great, really emotional, spiritual, physical and romantic connection. It feels past lifey, but ultimately, things get tough. And then this chart also has the moon in the third house, but it's in Scorpio. It's less easy to have here. It's conjunct Pluto. It's all really intense. And then it has Jupiter and Gemini on the midheaven. So it's people talking about their relationship. And that's happening right now. So also it was as soon as Jupiter entered Leo and their 12th house of a big ending, they announced their separation. Interesting.
Oh, definitely interesting. So here we have two different kind of charts of their relationship with the composite and the Davidson. So can you tell everyone what is the benefit of one versus the other, because they are a little different? And here we have both.
I am more practiced in using the Davison, and what I like about it is that it's a real a real point in time, which means you can progress it. And it the solar returns are easy to pull up. You can do all this with a composite chart, but it's just different. It's not a real point in time. You can have a solar return, but the solar return for a composite chart won't be, you won't have a Mercury opposite sun, right? You'll never have sort of that replicating dynamic, whereas the Davison is based in real time. So it does. And yeah, you can do zodiacal releasing. You can do, all these things, perfections. The composite chart though, and I've used the Davison, I'll say I've had success in predicting or relationship stuff. The composite chart is undefeated though, in terms of predicting relationship events for sure. One of the most popular ones is seeing when the nodes and the eclipses are in the first and seventh house. So their first house is Pisces, their second house is Virgo. The nodes literally from January 2025 until last week were in those signs. So they had eclipses, they had all this happening. So when these big changes are happening to the first and seventh house, the relationship dynamic, it changes. A lot of times people get together, get married, get, divorced or break up. And so, yeah, like you can also do, I think that it's good for like maybe individual transits and examining the certain underlying dynamics, I guess. Like things also like anomalies, like a Mercury opposite the sun, something that you would never guess could happen, but it does in a composite chart. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So fans started to suspect something was up when Jack went to Taylor Swift's wedding without Margaret. And instead of being at the wedding, she was spotted in upstate New York. And rumors were also set off when Margaret was spotted hanging out with her co-star Drew Starkey while filming. And a few days after Taylor's wedding, their separation was confirmed, and it is alleged that it was Margaret that initiated it. So what was going on when the separation was announced?
This was July 8th, 2026. I just pulled a chart for noon and used New York as the location. The sun is in Cancer. The moon is in Aries. It's a last quarter moon, people. The moon is in individually focused Aries. The sun in Cancer is maybe finally stepping up for itself and exiting this, a relationship that isn't working, a toxic relationship, an environment that isn't fully supportive or nourishing. And Mercury's retrograde in Cancer, which reflects all that, like really ruminating over this and changing the relationship status and going your separate ways, especially with work. Like Moon and Aries, maybe it could literally just be them being like, this just isn't working for our careers are in the way and we both are career focused. So, why keep torturing each other? Neptune stationed retrograde one day earlier. So this reflects all the confusion around it. And because Neptune is the planet of confusion, it's also like the fascination with it. And then the sun is opposite Lilith, which the Lilith in Capricorn heals itself by devoting itself to passions and long-term goals. So opposite the sun, it seems like it's really satisfying and challenging a Cancer sun, which can be so relationship-oriented and accommodating or focus on nurturing other people. And that's like how a Cancer placement avoids. It nurtures others. And then Mars is conjunct Uranus in Gemini. Gemini is a separation, or two. So sometimes it's separating. It's also gossip. There's so much gossip about it. Uranus is shock. Mars is like severing. So this relationship has been severed. And the moon is conjunct Chiron, which just entered Taurus. It's a sad time, but the tides are turning. Also, Venus was with the South Node. Yeah, this is a lot going on. Jupiter had just ended. Anyway,
yeah.
Venus with the South Node is also an end of relationships. Some progressions to the Davison that I think are noteworthy is that the Sun is progressed in Leo and it's conjunct the South Node in the 12th house. Sun in the South Node, it's like the South Node is like shading the Sun. You can't see it, so the lights are going out. This is turning off the lights on the relationship. Venus is in Libra domicile, but it's with Lilith. So this is it's in the second house too. So we're separating from each other for our own needs. And then Chiron is exactly conjunct Mercury, which is like, Chiron and Mercury. It's reflecting that dynamic of their progress chart. Also, since their Davison chart is July 12th, 1989, their Davison solar return is July 12th, 2026. It's just 4 days after they announced the separation. This chart has Mars on the midheaven. It's separating literally. And the midheaven is like the result. The moon's also on the midheaven, and wherever the moon is in your solar return chart indicates where things will be changing. So all around, we also have Venus with the South. It's the transits that were happening on the day they announced it is really similar to the solar return chart for the Davison chart, which is another way to predict relationships. But between the nodes having completed their transit in their 1st and 7th house and going into invisibility in the 12th and 6th, it's over. Oh my God, it's also the nodal opposition of the Davison chart. Okay, or of the composite chart. So it's the nodal return of the Davison chart and the nodal opposition of the composite chart. Yeah, that's really intense. Okay, bye. This is over. It's completed. Till the next life.
Damn. Well, sources say that their busy schedules and distance were contributing factors to the split. Others said there were communication issues throughout the marriage. And, you know, we did talk about Jack not being so self-centered and overbearing. And one person said Jack could be very particular about how he liked things, one source explained. He'd often prefer for things to be done the way he thought was best, and Margaret didn't always feel like her perspective was being heard or given the same weight.
So we said that. Interesting.
Yeah. Love when that happens.
Yeah.
But we love it. You know, it's sad to see a couple break up, especially a couple with two people that I personally like, even though I don't know them. But yeah, any last final words from the app?
Sure. I will be interested to see if and how this changes his like style of producing music, and I'm really excited to see the movie Possession. I like the original. I don't think anything will compete with it, but I don't know. That's one remake I'll see. And I do really she seems like someone I would want to hang out with. I like her, so I don't know. I hope she gets, especially with her Venus retrograde in Scorpio, I hope she gets the love that she deserves, of fuller love.
Cute. May we all get that. And with that, I'm Sarah.
I'm Dana.
And this has been an episode of Allegedly Astrology.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.